So Bleacher Report have written an article about Angel Reese, potential landing spots for Angel Reese if Chicago deals a star. It's not an if, it's a when. Do I think Chicago wants to trade Angel Reese? No. Do I think Chicago wants to mend a relationship? Yes. Do I think Angel Reese will ever play for Chicago again? No. I think we are going to see Angel Reese sit out of training camp. I think we will genuinely see Angel Reese refusing to show up to training camp next year. That is what I think is going to happen. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be a case where Angel Reese ends up being put in trade rumors. They don't get what they want. And in the end, she gets traded by game 3 of next season. But I don't see her getting traded just before the start of the season. I just have a feeling that the Sky are going to continue to think that they are going to be able to... I think they think that they're going to be able to work something out. That's just my opinion of it all. So, we have Angel Reese right here. It's been a whirlwind from the Sky. So it says the Washington Mystics trade. Do I think the Washington Mystics will trade for Angel Reese? No. The reason I think the Washington Mystics won't trade for Angel Reese is I think they're dead set on Kiki Iriafen. And the only trade that I can see the Washington Mystics doing is some form of a sign of trade around Shakira Austin, where they would give up Georgia Amor, Shakira Austin. If they still had the 4th-year option on Jade Melbourne, I think this becomes a lot more likely, because I think Jade Melbourne is a 4th-year option on a restricted free agents contract. Good. As would be the case if Emily Ensler was still on a rookie deal, but she's not. She's someone who, again, should be in that 4th-year option, but they're not going to take her up on it. So, for me, I'm like, you're probably going to restricted sign and trade Shakira Austin. You're going to give up whatever your lottery pick is this year. And give the pick swap back. Like, that's what the pick swap back, the Seattle pick and Shakira Austin's enough for Angel Reese. It absolutely is. But they're not going to do that because Angel Reese and Kiki won't be able to play with each other. Wash has abundance of young players, so a trade for Reese built around Citron and the Mystics 2026 first pick could be a win for both sides. Citron is 21 years old. I'm sorry, what? Citron and the third, 4th, or 5th pick? Man, if there's the only player that's untouchable for the Washington Mystics is Sonia Citron. Sonia Citrons don't grow on trees. Kiki Iriafen is not untouchable because you are replacing Kiki Iriafen with Angel. But, you're replacing a kind of unicorn-type guard who can average 15 points per game on near 50, 40, 90 while guarding the other team's best player. And is 6'1", is versatile, can run the point, has shown in college she can run the point a little bit, for a player that does the same thing as Kiki Iriafen. Kiki's not untouchable. The reason why Kiki's not untouchable is because it's a like for like. Angel's the better player right now. Kiki is less of a headache and is a year younger and does have the more her mechanics are going to translate more to the 3-ball. The likelihood is that of the two of them to develop a 3-ball and become a modern big beside Camila Cardoso, Kiki Iriafen is more likely, but still, you don't trade Sonia Citron. Jesus. If this trade is there for Chicago, yes, Chicago. You take that trade in a heartbeat, you run. If they offer that, you run. The New York Liberty have nothing. They don't have any assets. So, it says here, they've built one of the teams. To extend this group, they may need one. They could offer package builder and Niara Sabli, who's under contract through 2026, along with 2027 first and second round picks. That's not enough. So you've got perpetually injured Niara Sabli. How many healthy seasons has Niara Sabli played in the WNBA? And also, she's not that good. And I'm going to be honest, Niara Sabli's not very good. I don't care that she looked really good in overtime of Game 5 of the finals last year. But for her career, Niara Sabli has played a full season 0 times. She played 26 games last year, played 17 games this year. Her career high is 5.4 points per game. And yes, she was good in overtime last year. This would be a horrible trade. So the 2027 first round pick. So basically, you're going to trade, because there's going to be 15 teams in the WNBA that year. You are basically saying Niara Sabally and the 12th through 15th pick is it worth Angel Reese. You have to be idiots to make that trade if you're the Chicago Sky. You want to know what? At least Bleacher Report didn't say trade their 2026 first round pick. Because loads of people I've said trade the 2026 first round pick for the New York Liberty, which the Connecticut Sun own. For New York, this would be about present and future. They would not. If there's no way New York can fleece Chicago like this, and also Angels coming off the bench. Like, we've seen it. Like, they wouldn't even start El Messaman, who fits beside the players better on the offensive end. So they're not moving Stewie to the 3. Like, they've made it clear they're not moving Stewie to the 3. So the Liberty aren't going to make this trade because they're not going to because Angel's not going to want to come off the bench. I would be shocked if Angel comes off the bench. The Golden State Valkyries. The Valkyries have the assets, but I don't know if they want to give up the assets. So what does it say here? Kate Martin and a first. Kate Martin and the 8th pick for Angel Reese. Oh my God. So you're trying to say that Kate Martin and the 8th pick. So are you trying to say that Kate Martin is better than Sonia Citron? Because you have said that it would take Sonia Citron plus a lottery pick for Angel Reese. But Kate Martin and the 8th pick is enough for Angel Reese. That's mental. That's mental. Kate Martin, I shoot 32% from inside the 3-point line. Kate Martin shoots like 32% from the field. Like, I like Kate Martin, by the way. I absolutely like Kate Martin. I think Kate Martin's a fantastic bench role player. I think she's a fantastic 9th best player on your team. But, like, she's not even better than Kia Nurse. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Genuinely, what are we doing? For Golden State, the fit would be obvious. Yeah, no shit. If you have to give up a non-lottery pick and Kate Martin, if you have to give the 8th pick and Kate Martin, of course you do it. Like, if that's all it's going to cost, I'm giving up the fucking 10th pick and KK Timpson if I'm the Fever. Even if it does not work out. For the risk, if that's all it's going to cost for Angel Reese, and the Aces don't trade for her, if the Aces don't find a way to trade for her, they're idiots. If they don't find a way to trade, that's all it's going to cost. The Atlanta Dream. Naz Hillman and the 13th pick in the draft. That's mental. That is mental. Naz Hillman and the 13th pick in the draft for Angel Reese. Why would they make that trade? And also, Angel Reese playing with Bree Jones? I really don't know. I really don't know why. By the way, so all of these are trades. So you're basically trying to say that Naz Hillman's better than Sonia Citron. All these players are just decent role player plus late first round pick. But then for the Washington Mystics, Sonia Citron and lottery pick. Oh my God, Seattle Storm. These conversations don't start unless you offer Dominique Malonga. The Seattle don't even have their pick. You've just put a pick in a trade that they don't have. Seattle would offer their own first round pick, which they don't have, and Dominique Malonga. You know what? If this hypothetical pick that they no longer have because they traded it for Brittany Sykes, for this hypothetical pick that the Mystics own, with Dominique Malonga, yes. If Dominique Malonga is offered straight up for Angel Reese, you take it. This is the only one where I'm like, you know what, Chicago. This is maybe better. If you get Dominique Malonga for Angel Reese, you say yes, hang up the phone, and do not pick up the phone from Seattle ever again. Ever again. Like, you've got Angel Reese playing with Neko Wumake. They're not going to keep Ezzy Magbor. They're likely not going to keep Ezzy Magbor. It's just a never ever again. You say yes, hang up the phone, and it's over. And it's over. But it says here a realistic package would be a pick. They don't have the pick, but they do have the Sparks pick. They do have the Sparks pick. And they also have somebody else's pick. I know they had 3, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, screw it. You give up the Sparks pick and Malonga. What, 3rd pick and Malonga? Heck, just straight up Malonga. You don't even need to add a pick. Just give him Malonga. If you're the Chicago Sky, you take that trade in a heartbeat. Like, whatever you think about Angel Reese, the reality is that it is a very, very high likelihood that Dominique Malonga ends up being better than Angel Reese. And Dominique Malonga would be better beside Cardoso because she has shown the ability to shoot the 3 ball. So, yeah, in my opinion, I make that. If I'm Chicago, I make that trade, no question about it. The Portland Fire or Toronto tempo. I wonder, 2026 pick 7. And they're going to give it. 2026 first round and an additional future first could be the backbone of the deal. Could return either one. Sweden to return, either team could part with one of their early draft rights from the upcoming dual expansion draft. They're not going to take anyone. Like, literally, I mean this. People don't realize it, that it doesn't really matter. Oh, remember last year when the Golden State Valkyries took, oh my God, I blanked on her name. They took the Spanish guard. There's a 30-year-old Spanish player. Jesus. Like, no one had even heard of her. She was a hooper. Conde? Yeah, Maria Conde. They took Maria Conde, who's like my age, and is insanely good. But, like, that's because there was nobody else there. Like, there's actually nobody to take. The Chicago Sky are going to, because if you take an unrestricted free agent, unless you court them, they just go back. The Chicago Sky are going to protect all their players on rookie deals. And which means that they're taking someone as an unrestricted free agent, which is irrelevant. There's a good chance they don't take anybody from the Sky, so it doesn't matter whatsoever. It's not like last year's expansion draft where it was only one team and not the entire league weren't free agents, where you could take like a Kayla Thornton who was still under contract. You could take a Chechi Zandalicini who was still under contract. But yeah, those trades, you know what, 2 first-round picks is a lot better than Naz Hillman and a late first-round pick, because these teams are going to stink. Like the Portland Fire and the Tempo, at worst-case scenario, they're going to stink. Like they're not going to pull Valkyries. They're not going to be able to get those type of players. They're absolutely not going to pull Valkyries. The Valkyries was the exception, not the rule. So, and then again, the Valkyries have Jusei Josita and Maria Conde to come over this year. So they're going to be very good for a while. And they really did everything right. But at the end of the day, this isn't a bad trade because your likelihood is if you're going to get an additional future first in 2027, you're likely going to, there's a chance you get a late lottery pick from the Mystics. There's a chance you get, you're going to get a high lottery pick from these. And in worst case scenario, like if you're okay next year, you're not, the pick swap's not going to convey. So it's going to happen. Of all these trades, if the Sky take the Valkyries or the Dream or the New York Liberties offer of a role player and a bad pick, they're dumbasses. If this trade gets offered, the Washington Mystics GM needs to be fired on the spot. If I think that there are WNBA organizations that would be dumb enough to trade Dominique Malonga, and also that's not Dominique Malonga. As you can see, there's Naz Hillman and Angel Reese. There is Kate Martin and Angel Reese. There is Angel Reese, and that is also not Niara Sabli. That's Kennedy Burke. That is definitely not Dominique Malonga. Bleacher Report. Just letting you guys know that's not Dominique Malonga, and also Seattle have already traded their pick. But yeah, if you can get Malonga, if I'm the Sky, that's what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a player, I'm looking for Malonga. I'm looking for that upside. I'm looking for that player that's going to take your organization to the next level. I'm looking for a Malonga, honestly. The only thing with Malonga is, like, I don't think she's going to be happy with the facilities there, because she's coming from actual pro facilities in Seattle. And look, Malonga is somebody who's dead set on being the best. Basketball is what she chose. Like, basketball was what she wanted to do. Basketball was what she had chosen to do. Like, she could have been She originally wanted to go to Stanford, study computer science, and then went pro instead. Basketball was her choice. She can do anything in life. So if you kind of screw over Dominique Malonga with the Sky, like a lot of these Europeans, she'll just go and play for Fenerbahce. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. What do you guys think? If you can get them the one that I think is actually realistic to happen is this, because I don't think they're going to give up a chance at Juju Watkins. I think this trade here is one that could happen. With definitely not Ezi Magbagor, as you can see, they obviously must have thought that was Dominique Malonga. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys.